Good morning, everyone. First things first, a big shout out to Annie Dino, who is online this morning and is a rock star in her recovery from knee surgery. Annie, we're cheering you on and we wish you the very, very best, and we hope you're with us again very, very soon. I love, love, love hearing my children read scripture. And this morning, I loved hearing Bess. It is her last Sunday here for now. And if you have any doubt about me being in total denial, I've been watching really funny YouTube videos about dads who are in denial that their daughters are moving far, far, far away for school. The other thing I want to say is, and some people have asked, no, we are not driving to California. Bess and I may take that road trip a little later, but not now. Not now. This morning, we're in Ephesians again, and this is becoming very familiar to all of us. Ephesians was a crossroad of culture, of religion, of economic status, diverse in every sense of the word, surrounded by pagan influences, both Jews and Gentiles fellowshipped and worshiped together in an extraordinary cross-cultural experiment. In no other place would it be more critical to test Christ's message of unity, acceptance, and love. And the Ephesians were unified. They had a reputation for that. But it was not without a tremendous amount of hard work and a lot of reckoning that was going on at the same time. That reckoning and hard work is something we're talking about this morning. Is America really that different than Ephesus? Is the New York metro area different? Is Fairfield County different, or Stamford? Or even this church, the Stamford Church of Christ? Are we really that different from the Ephesians? We come from a vast array of backgrounds, diverse in our experiences, diverse in our religious backgrounds, diverse in economic and education backgrounds, but we all come together here. We live in a culture not filled with pagans, but steeped in ideas contrary to the Spirit of Christ just the same. We live in a culture where anger and rage is all around us. We live in a time when disunity is the norm and differences among people are emphasized and weaponized. So, what can we do to counter all of this? Paul's practical. He gave the Ephesians, specifically the Gentile Ephesians, very specific, actionable things that they could do. And this morning, we're going to talk about actionable things. Things that we can do, ways we can live to express the Spirit of Christ as a counterpoint to the culture that we're in. If we, by we I mean you and me, and by extension I mean this church, are to be a source of peace, solace, unity, and love, and a world that is divided and angry and raging, then we too must act, just as Ephesus did. It was in such a caustic environment that Paul had the courage to speak the truth to the church in Ephesus. The truth? A Gentile contingent of the church in Ephesus had lost its way. As Paul would so colorfully say, to put it, they, in their festering anger, gave the devil a toehold. I like that. I like that phrase. Paul is passionate. He's emotional. He's direct with the Ephesians. And at his most critical, he can, if I'm honest, come across a little like a school marm. And how many people, Bess probably doesn't know what a school marm is, but lecturing, over-instructive, all of those things that school marms can be. He was in this chapter 4 of Ephesians. Paul reserves his harshest criticism yet to the Gentile Christians in Ephesus. It is in the verses preceding today's passage that Paul rails against the culture that the Gentiles came out of. Verse 17, "So I tell you this, and I insist on it in the Lord, that you must no longer live as the Gentiles do in their futility of thinking. They are darkened in their understanding and separated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them due to the hardening of their hearts." Sounds like a schoolmarm to me. "Having lost all sensitivity, they have given themselves over to sensuality, as to indulge in every kind of impurity, and they are full of greed." Wow. Truth that's hard to hear. And if I was a Jewish Christian in Ephesus, I might be tempted to get a little smug as Paul is haranguing my Gentile fellow believers and say, "You show them, Paul." But if you remember, we don't have to look too far or take too much comfort in Jewish Ephesians. You have to remember that Paul was often highly critical of them as well. Indeed, everything that plagued the Ephesian church can easily plague us. Weary of raging, fighting, bickering, cheating, we search for a new self, a new way, a way to relate to others and to the world. And whether they know it or not, every person that walks through those doors into this place is searching for that same thing. And so the question is, are they going to see it in us, or are they going to go and find it someplace else? That is a question we have to ask ourselves constantly. In every faith journey, there comes a moment when the Spirit shows us a new way. And once we experience it, we say to ourselves, "I want to be like that." We say to ourselves, "I want to experience that in community with others." We say to ourselves, "I want to display that spirit of grace, love, and integrity in my own life." We put on a new self, the self closer to the way God created us to be. Verse 22, "You were taught, with regard to your former way of life, to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness." But this new self, this self that we've all experienced through the Spirit of God, is fragile. It's difficult to hold on to. We forget our experiences with the Spirit. We forget the better person we've become. We forget who we are. We forget whose we are. We see the world coming out. We see the world we came out of, where lying, raging, stealing, malicious bickering, and slandering are the norm. We remember those feelings, and the old habits begin to consume us again. It's tough. It's difficult to be in this new self. But remember, Paul is practical. He's going to have some practical things to say to the Ephesians, and they are actionable things to do. If only we had the courage that the Ephesians had. How transformed would we be as a people, as a church, if we just did what Paul asked us to do? What if? What if every day we put on our new self, remembering that we were created to be like God, Remember this, God's vision of who you are counters the worst perceptions you have of yourself. Remember that. He has a vision of who you are in his mind, and you can choose to put that vision on every day that you live. What if we put off falsehood to speak the truth in love, speaking with honesty, integrity, even when we ourselves don't benefit? Is it just me, or do you get a little nervous when Paul implores us to be honest and truthful with one another? First off, can I handle the truth? Secondly, can I be honest and truthful with others without hurting them? It's a real dilemma. Neither can be true outside of a deep, trusting, and personal relationship with each other. It cannot exist. What if anger was only a passing emotion given up with the setting of the sun? You've heard the idea your whole life, right? But this is so difficult to let it go every single day, to put your head on the pillow at night and give it up. It is just that difficult. What if we gave up stealing? You said, hey, wait a minute, I'm not a thief. I'm not a thief. I don't take watches. I don't take money. I don't take people's shoes. But I will tell you, we steal nonetheless. We're all thieves when it comes to being consumed by ourselves. We take from others things we feel we must have, like someone's time or someone's attention, without considering that those are the things that perhaps they might need from us. What if every day we abandoned idleness and did something useful with our hands? If we are complaining, bickering, arguing, perhaps we just need something to do, right? What if we took that useful thing and then gave it to someone else? I have a beautiful story to share with you. I was in the hallway in the office wing this week, and Frank was sitting there with a bag, and inside of that bag were some incredibly beautiful homegrown tomatoes, something useful that Frank had done with his hands. And he turned around and he gave me two of the nicest ones, by the way, and they were delicious, Frank. It's a simple thought, but let's take something useful to do every single day and then take that useful thing and give it to someone else. There's nothing more beautiful than that. What if we gave up crude talk and replaced it with affirmation? You've heard this phrase before. Some things are just not worth saying. Unfortunately, we realize that often when we've already said it. It's too late, it's out the door. What if we choose to say only the things that help, only what is needed? I think it could transform our lives, and it might make me look a lot smarter than I actually am. What if every day our encouragements vastly outnumbered our criticisms? But that's not fair. Wait a minute. After all this very passage was full of criticism by Paul, and it was. But that may be true, yet he earned the right to say those things. His passionate love and acceptance of the Ephesians was without question, and they knew it. And it gave him the right and the privilege to say tough things in love to those people. The older I get, the more I'm convinced that I have to earn the right to offer any truth or any advice to anyone. And the right to do that comes through relationship. And if we're not in relationship with one another, Truth spoken to someone else is just criticism and nothing else. But if it's said in relationship as Paul said it, it is transformative. What if we gave no energy to bitterness, anger, rage, brawling, and slander? So next time you're on Facebook and you feel consumed by those things, what are you doing? You're giving energy to it. And that energy is energy that you could be applying to someone else in some way that is much more positive and constructive. Ask yourself every day what you're giving energy to. What if people thought of kindness and compassion when they thought of you? Is that what they think? It's worth asking the question, I think. And the older we get, the more we ask it. Everybody older than me might understand that. When it's all said and done, when you are gone from this earth, what will people say about the way you made them feel? And if you don't know the answer to that, then perhaps it's time to get to work. Lastly, what if, having the full awareness of having been forgiven by God, forgiven by other people, we in turn forgave others? This is Paul's final plea, and perhaps the most important. Verse 32, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ forgave you. What if? Let's think about it today, okay? When you walk out of this place, think, what if? What if? And then perhaps the what if brings us to a new place. Then in that place, there is hope. Then just perhaps the Spirit of Christ can change our world, change our community, change this church.